You know that feeling when someone you cared about didn't treat you the way you deserved? When you gave your time, your energy, your heart, and it felt like they barely noticed, or worse, took it all for granted. It hurts, it stings, but here's the thing, how you respond to that moment defines everything. Because when someone shows you who they really are by treating you like you mean nothing, the most powerful move you can make isn't begging for their attention or trying to fix what they broke. It's acting like they meant nothing at all, not out of bitterness, but out of self-respect and confidence. This isn't about playing games. It's about reclaiming your power and setting the standard for how you expect to be treated. And trust me, that's when everything changes. When someone treats you like an option rather than a priority, the way you respond sets the entire tone for the relationship going forward. It's easy to fall into the trap of chasing after someone who's made it clear that you're just a backup plan, someone to be reached when convenient or when nothing better is available. But here's the truth, you are the one who ultimately controls the energy and direction of your interactions. When you decide to act like he meant nothing, you're not just putting up walls or playing hard to get. You're sending a clear, confident message that you won't settle for being treated as anything less than what you deserve. You shift from being the pursuer to being the prize, the one who holds the power by refusing to chase. This isn't about pride or ego. It's about setting a boundary that protects your emotional well-being. When you respond with detachment and self-respect, you're effectively saying, I recognize my worth, and I'm not willing to waste my time on someone who can't see it. That kind of response is incredibly powerful because it disrupts the usual dynamic where you may have been chasing his attention or approval. Instead, you reclaim control and demonstrate that your time, your love, and your energy are valuable resources, not freebies to be taken for granted. It's important to understand that this shift in how you respond isn't about punishing the other person. It's about valuing yourself enough to demand reciprocity. When you act like he meant nothing, you're not denying your feelings or pretending they don't exist. Rather, you're choosing not to let your emotions be hijacked by someone who didn't treat you right in the first place. You create a new narrative where your peace and confidence take center stage, rather than his disregard or indifference. Moreover, acting with this kind of confidence sends a strong signal to anyone watching, whether it's the person who hurt you or someone new who might enter your life. It says, I know my value and I won't tolerate anything less. This kind of self-assurance is magnetic. It naturally draws people who respect you and pushes away those who don't. When you stop chasing, you start attracting. The energy you put out changes, and with it, the way others perceive and treat you shifts as well. There's also a psychological aspect to this. When you stop chasing someone who's been distant or neglectful, it forces them to reconsider what they're losing. People tend to value what they have to earn or work for. If you've been constantly available, giving your attention freely, it's easy for someone to take that for granted. But the moment you pull back and act like you don't need their validation, it creates a gap that's impossible to ignore. Suddenly, your absence becomes a reminder of what they overlooked. However, this isn't a game or a manipulative tactic. It's a natural consequence of raising your standards and refusing to accept anything less than respect. You're showing that your energy is not disposable and that your emotional investment requires mutual effort. This stance also helps you heal because you're no longer stuck in a cycle of chasing someone who didn't prioritize you. Instead, you're focusing on yourself and the kind of relationship you truly deserve. Ultimately, how you respond when someone treats you like an option will either keep you stuck or set you free. Acting like he meant nothing is your declaration of freedom. It's a way of reclaiming your narrative and showing that your worth isn't contingent on his attention or approval. You're taking back control, choosing self-respect respect over desperation, and signaling clearly that you are someone who expects to be valued, not someone who begs to be noticed. And in that choice lies your true power. Your value is something deeply personal and internal, yet it's often tempting to let someone else's actions dictate how you feel about yourself. When someone treats you as if you don't matter, it's easy to start doubting your worth, questioning if maybe you're not enough or if there's something wrong with you. But here's the undeniable truth: your value is not defined by how someone else treats you. It's not something that fluctuates based on their attention, their words, or their behavior. Your worth is constant, and it's anchored in who you are, not who they think you are. Acting like he meant nothing is a way of reminding yourself that you are whole and complete, regardless of how he behaved. When someone fails to see your value, it doesn't diminish it. It simply reveals their inability to recognize something precious. The moment you allow their disregard to affect your self-esteem, you give away your power. But when you stand firm in your sense of worth, you're sending a clear message, not only to him, but more importantly to yourself, that you will not let external validation define your happiness. This mindset shift is crucial because it frees you from emotional dependency. Instead of waiting for him to appreciate you, to finally show up the way you hoped, or to treat you the way you deserve, you turn inward for affirmation. You learn to love and respect yourself first. This change doesn't just protect you from pain, it transforms your entire approach to relationships and life. When you value yourself, you no longer settle for crumbs or tolerate disrespect. You set a standard that others must meet if they want to be part of your life. It's also important to recognize that your self-worth is what fuels your confidence. Confidence isn't about arrogance or pretending you don't feel hurt. It's about knowing your value so well that you don't waste your energy on people who fail to see it. When you embody this confidence, you naturally act with a calm and quiet assurance. You don't need to prove anything to anyone because your validation comes from within. This internal foundation makes you resilient to rejection or neglect, allowing you to walk away from situations or people that no longer serve you without feeling broken or less than. Acting like he meant nothing is therefore an act of self-preservation and self-respect. It's choosing to protect your energy from being drained by someone who never truly valued it. When you live by this principle, you're not being dismissive or cold, you're being wise. You're recognizing that no one can make you feel worthy or unworthy unless you allow them to. And by refusing to give that power away, you maintain control over your emotional well-being. Moreover, when you truly understand your value, you shift the dynamics in your relationships. People are naturally drawn to those who know their worth because confidence is magnetic. It attracts respect, love, and healthy connections. Conversely, when you appear unsure or desperate for validation, it signals that you haven't yet claimed your own power, which can lead others to take you for granted. So by acting like he meant nothing, you're also recalibrating how you show up in the world and how others show up for you. This shift also opens the door to healing. Instead of lingering in confusion or heartbreak over someone who didn't treat you right, you focus on nurturing your self-esteem and building a life that reflects your true value. You invest in yourself, your goals, your passions, your happiness without needing his approval or attention. This process not only restores your sense of worth, but also prepares you for healthier relationships in the future, ones where mutual respect and appreciation are the foundation. At the end of the day, your worth is a non-negotiable truth. It doesn't depend on his recognition, his love, or his approval. By acting like he meant nothing, you're standing firm in that truth, refusing to let someone else's failure define you. You're honoring yourself by protecting your heart, your peace, and your self-respect. And in doing so, You create the space for someone who will truly see and cherish the incredible value you bring into the world. Confidence is the most powerful statement you can make after someone has treated you like you didn't matter. When someone shows you that you're not a priority, it's natural to feel hurt, confused, and even a little lost. But here's the truth: your confidence is your greatest comeback. It's the silent message you send to the world, and most importantly, to yourself, that you are more than their treatment of you. Confidence isn't about pretending everything is perfect or that you don't feel the sting. It's about showing up for yourself with unwavering belief in your own value, regardless of how someone else behaved. When you act like he never mattered, it doesn't mean erasing the memories or the lessons you learned. It means refusing to give him power over your emotions or your sense of self-worth. Confidence in this context becomes your shield and your sword. It protects you from falling into the trap of self-doubt and fuels your ability to move forward without looking back. The way you carry yourself, your posture, your tone, your energy, speaks volumes even before a word is said. When you're confident, you're sending a message that you know your worth, and you won't settle for anything less than respect and genuine care. There's a subtle yet profound difference between someone who is broken and someone who is confident after a difficult experience. The broken person might replay the past, question their own value, or desperately seek validation from the very person who caused the pain. The confident person acknowledges the past but refuses to let it define them. This person understands that their value is not negotiable, and that the way someone else treated them reflects that other person's limitations, not their own worth. When you embody this confidence, you reclaim control over your story, and that is incredibly empowering. Confidence also acts as a beacon to new opportunities and healthier relationships. When you show up with confidence, people are naturally drawn to you. They can sense that you respect yourself and won't tolerate being treated poorly. This shifts the energy around you. Instead of attracting people who doubt your value, you attract those who see it clearly and appreciate it. In essence, confidence is like a filter that helps you weed out the wrong people and make space for the right ones. Acting like he never mattered helps you stay grounded in this truth. You don't have to chase after those who failed to see your worth in the first place. It's important to recognize that building this kind of confidence takes practice and patience. It doesn't always come naturally, especially when your heart is healing. But every time you choose to focus on your strengths, your goals, and your happiness, you reinforce the idea that you deserve better. Confidence grows in those moments when you refuse to let past treatment dictate your future, when you choose to invest your time and energy in yourself instead of trying to fix someone else's neglect. This is not arrogance or indifference, it's healthy self-respect. By living boldly and confidently, you essentially rewrite the narrative. Instead of being someone who was hurt or overlooked, you become someone who is unshakable and resilient. You send a clear, powerful message. You will not be defined by how someone else treated you, because you are so much more than that. Your confidence tells the world that you have moved on and you are thriving. And the most important part? You're not just pretending, you truly believe it deep down. This belief becomes your foundation, allowing you to step into new chapters of your life with strength and clarity, leaving behind the weight of someone who treated you like nothing. The mental space you give someone who treated you poorly is often the very space that keeps you stuck in the past. When you constantly replay moments, analyze every word, and wonder why things happened the way they did, you're essentially giving that person a permanent residency in your mind. This mental drama drains your energy, clouds your judgment, and prevents you from fully embracing your present and future. Acting like he meant nothing means making a conscious choice to stop giving him power over your thoughts, to clear the clutter he's caused in your emotional world, and to reclaim your peace of mind. It's easy to fall into the trap of overthinking because our minds are wired to seek closure, to understand what went wrong. But the problem is, when someone treated you carelessly or dismissively, you often won't get the answers you want. Instead, you end up stuck in an endless loop of what ifs and if onlys. This kind of mental drama can lead to feelings of anxiety, sadness, and self-doubt. You might catch yourself wondering if you weren't enough, if you could have done something differently, or if you'll ever find someone who truly values you. All these thoughts keep the person who hurt you alive in your mind, prolonging the pain and preventing healing. Choosing to act like he meant nothing doesn't mean pretending you don't care or ignoring your feelings. It means acknowledging the truth that his treatment was a reflection of his character, not your worth. It means telling yourself that you deserve better and that you won't let his actions dictate your mental and emotional space. By doing this, you start to shift your focus away from him and back onto yourself, your growth, your happiness, and your future. Clearing mental space is about making room for new experiences, new people, and new possibilities instead of replaying old stories that no longer serve you. When you cut out the mental drama, you give yourself permission to heal. You stop feeding the cycle of pain and confusion and begin to create a new internal narrative that supports your self-worth and confidence. This doesn't happen overnight. It's a gradual process that requires intention and practice. It might mean setting boundaries with yourself about how often you allow your mind to wander back to him. It might involve redirecting your thoughts when you catch yourself spiraling or engaging in activities that keep you grounded and present. Mindfulness, journaling, and talking to trusted friends or a therapist can all help you manage and reduce mental drama. Acting like he meant nothing also helps you reclaim your time and energy. When your mind isn't consumed by thoughts of someone who treated you poorly, you can invest more of yourself in what truly matters, your passions, your goals, your relationships that uplift and support you. This shift in focus not only improves your emotional well-being, but also creates space for personal growth. You start to see yourself more clearly, not through the lens of past hurt, but through the possibilities ahead. It's important to realize that cutting mental ties doesn't mean erasing memories or denying the impact of what happened. It means recognizing that holding on to these mental dramas is a choice that often keeps you stuck in a cycle of pain. When you decide to act like he meant nothing, you choose freedom over captivity. You choose to live your life on your terms rather than on the terms set by someone who failed to value you. In the end, the mental drama is just noise, a distraction from your truth and your potential. Clearing that noise allows you to hear your own voice more clearly, the one that reminds you of your worth, your strength, and your resilience. It's the voice that empowers you to move forward with confidence and grace, ready to welcome the good that's waiting for you. By refusing to give him mental space, you protect your peace and create a foundation for a happier, healthier you. When someone treats you like a fallback or a convenience, it's a clear sign that they don't truly value you the way you deserve. This kind of treatment chips away at your self-esteem and can leave you feeling confused about your worth. But one of the most important steps you can take in healing from that experience is to set clear boundaries for your heart. Boundaries aren't just about telling others how to treat you. They're about protecting your emotional well-being and honoring your own value. By setting boundaries, you're essentially telling yourself and the world that you will not settle for being someone's second choice or option. Many people struggle with boundaries because they fear being alone or rejected. They might convince themselves that any attention is better than none, or that if they don't keep someone close, even if that person treats them poorly, they risk losing connection and love altogether. But this mindset keeps you trapped in a cycle where you accept less than you deserve. When you set boundaries, you break free from this cycle. You say, I am worthy of respect and genuine care. If you cannot give me that, then you are not welcome in my emotional space. Setting clear boundaries means being honest with yourself about what you will and will not accept. It's about recognizing the red flags early on and having the courage to walk away before you get hurt deeper. It's about refusing to tolerate behaviors that diminish your sense of self or leave you feeling unimportant. When you protect your heart this way, you're not being cold or unfeeling. You're being wise and compassionate towards yourself. You're valuing your emotional health as much as you would value your physical health. This also means becoming comfortable with saying no. Saying no to someone who treats you like a fallback isn't rude or harsh. It's necessary self-care. It's a way of reclaiming your power and sending a clear message that your time, love, and attention are precious and not up for grabs. By saying no to the people who don't treat you with the respect you deserve, you make space for those who will. Healthy boundaries help you attract relationships that are reciprocal, where both people prioritize and cherish each other equally. Another crucial part of setting boundaries is being consistent. It's not enough to decide once that you won't accept certain behaviors. You have to stick to it every time those lines are crossed. Consistency sends a firm message to yourself and others that you are serious about your self-worth. It also helps you build confidence in your ability to protect yourself emotionally. Over time, you'll notice that people either step up to meet your standards or step out of your life, and both outcomes are beneficial. You either gain respect or remove negativity. It's also important to remember that boundaries evolve as you grow. What you tolerated in the past might no longer be acceptable, and that's okay. As you learn more about yourself and what you want in relationships, your boundaries will naturally shift. The key is to keep listening to your feelings and honoring them without guilt. Your heart deserves to be treated with kindness and care at all times. Protecting your heart by setting boundaries ultimately leads to empowerment. When you no longer allow someone who treated you poorly to have emotional access to you, you take control of your healing. You stop giving away your energy to people who don't appreciate it and start investing it in yourself and those who truly deserve it. This act of self-respect not only helps you recover from past hurts, but also builds a stronger foundation for the future. When you treat your heart like a sacred space, you create an environment where love can thrive. Love that is mutual, respectful, and fulfilling. You stop being an option and become a priority. This shift changes everything because it aligns your actions with the truth of your worth. And that is where real healing and happiness begin. Acting like he meant nothing isn't about pretending to be cold or indifferent. It's about cultivating a mindset of confidence and self-respect that naturally elevates your energy and presence. When you carry yourself with quiet assurance and a hint of mystery, you create an aura that draws people in without having to chase or explain yourself. This magnetic energy comes from knowing your worth and not allowing past hurt or disappointment to define your story. Instead of obsessing over what he did or didn't do, you shift your focus inward, investing in your own growth and emotional independence. Confidence isn't about being loud or flashy. It's a calm and steady belief in who you are and what you deserve. When you genuinely feel this confidence, it shows in your body language, the way you speak, and how you interact with others. You don't feel the need to prove yourself or seek validation from someone who treated you poorly. This self-assurance creates a powerful kind of mystery, because people can sense when someone is at peace with themselves and not desperate for approval. That mystery makes you intriguing. It invites curiosity without you having to say a word. One of the reasons acting like he meant nothing raises your value is that it signals emotional independence. It tells the world, and most importantly him, that you aren't dependent on anyone else for your happiness. When someone knows you're okay on your own, you automatically become more desirable. People are naturally drawn to strength and stability because it's rare and refreshing. You're not chasing attention or trying to fix a broken dynamic. You're simply living your life fully, and that is incredibly attractive. Another key element is learning to master the art of restraint. Mystery thrives on what you don't reveal immediately. Instead of oversharing your feelings or your story, you allow yourself space to be enigmatic. You don't broadcast every thought or emotion because you understand that some things are better held close until trust is earned or the right moment comes. This doesn't mean being secretive in a manipulative way, but rather protecting your energy and not giving away all your cards at once. This behavior not only protects you, but also keeps others interested, wanting to know more about the real you beneath the surface. Confidence and mystery also empower you to avoid the trap of reacting impulsively to his behavior. When someone has treated you with disregard, the natural impulse might be to text, call, or show up to prove you care. But acting like he meant nothing means choosing silence or indifference over desperate attempts for attention. This restraint gives you the upper hand because it shows you're not emotionally at his mercy. Instead, you're choosing your own peace and prioritizing your dignity. It's a way of saying, without words, I'm not going to let your treatment of me dictate my emotions or actions. Furthermore, this mindset helps you attract healthier relationships. When you're confident and mysterious, you set a new standard for how you expect to be treated. People respond to your energy. If you signal that you value yourself highly, others will follow suit. By acting like he meant nothing, you break the cycle of tolerating disrespect and open the door for connections based on mutual respect and genuine interest. Ultimately, the combination of confidence and mystery is a form of empowerment. It's about reclaiming your narrative and refusing to let someone else's behavior diminish your light. When you embody this energy, you don't need to explain yourself or justify your feelings. You simply live from a place of strength and grace, making it clear that your worth is non-negotiable. This makes you unstoppable and magnetic in every area of your life, not just in relationships. In the end, acting like he meant nothing is not about pretending you don't care. It's about honoring yourself enough to walk away from anyone who didn't value you. When you carry yourself with confidence and mystery, you reclaim your power, protect your heart, and raise your worth to a level where only genuine, respectful love can reach you. Remember, the way someone treated you says everything about them, but your response says everything about you. Choose to respond with strength, grace, and unwavering self-respect, and watch how your life transforms.